channel being in the YouTube Shorts creator program. Like, I have like a Shorts manager. I've tried to participate in that program a little bit more over the last year, but it's just been difficult on my schedule just because, yeah, it just like a lot of the meetings that they had always were at times that I couldn't go to. So I wanted to talk about long hair and how you can have a YouTube channel without popping on the trends. Like, I do talk about current events from time to time, but I guess, like, for me, this last year and a half, a lot of what I've done with my channel, both my channels really, is just get over, like, the side effects of having been exposed to people who just want a trend cycle. Which, for me, like, I don't think it was the healthiest way to be on YouTube or on social media. But I also realized that years ago, I should have known that that was not the way for me. And I feel like there's this, like, there's some people that are on YouTube and they think that they're going to be like these big superstars. And I'm not usually a proponent of the term pick me, which I think is a little bit ridiculous, because I think a lot of times pick me is used in like just the wrong context of like poking fun of some woman who, I don't know, isn't part of a mean girls group dynamic, and the girls think that she's going to the guys and being like a pick me because maybe one of these guys picks her over the girls in the popular girl group or something. I feel like that's how pick me is used, but I'm going to be real honest. I think the whole pick me is the people of the news cycle. It's the people that they know deep down that they're not the superstars. Like, there's certain people on this platform, they're going to be young. Their demographic is usually 18 to 25. Some of them might be in the late 20s, early 30s, maybe. But not really. Like, the people that have the mass appeal, they look like models, they're very young. They really don't say much in their videos, to be honest. Like, they might say things, but it's not a lot. Like, they might indulge in the rage bait, but they're not really deep into it. Like, for instance, the ballerina farm or Nara Smith. Like, okay, obviously they check certain boxes. Like, they're conservative, they're trad wife, which was something that seemed to be kind of surging again. And some people say, oh, that this content's what got the Trumpy reelected. But I don't even know about that, because there's people in California that I would think are totally not a Nara Smith demographic. And some people said they voted for him because they liked something he did for a business, which, my mom and I were talking about this, and my mom's like, no, there's a news article that showed that he gave some money to this one company, and he wasn't even supposed to do that, because I knew this one person, like, he said the reason he voted for him was this reason, because he helped his company and then when Biden was in office, he lost his job. But the truth is, this company was financially in the red for years. And I guess Trump gave some sort of loan to them that he wasn't supposed to. And yeah, it's interesting. But that was his whole reason for voting for Trump. So he's not, this person I know that talked, he's very California. He's not a ballerina farm guy, okay? But there's a lot of people that are not ballerina farm, not Nora Smith, not trad wifey people. And a lot of people say this kind of content is what, and look, I think there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom and loving gardening and flowers and dresses. I love all those things. But you don't have to be like a conservative neo-pronatalist to believe in all that. You don't. And actually, what I'm finding concerning about this is a lot of people that were always very like thinking people should only have enough children that they could take care of, all of a sudden are promoting and supporting the pronatalist people. But even people who have a lot of children, they're not like that. And I feel like we've become a trope in society. I don't know. I don't even really care if people want to promote all these topics and they want a news cycle. Let them news cycle. But I just don't think it's healthy, and I'm kind of over it. Like, I don't really care what the big topic is of the day. Some people are they're gonna go hard. They're gonna be like, oh, this is the big topic of the day, and I need to talk about it. I'm like, okay, talk about it. But it doesn't really change anything. I think what it is there's always gonna be some people, they're like the superstars on any platform, YouTube, TikTok. But the ones that like really like have a big following, they're not going at it like so in like that they have to trend cycle. So for better or worse, I'm like, I will never be part of the trend cycle, and that's actually a good thing for me because I don't understand why the trend cycle is so exciting to people. Like, why are you needing a trend to do a social media platform? Honestly, I just want to talk about hair, and then on my other channel I talk about daily life. And I've decided over the years that my content's really just about me. It's not about other people. Like in the past, I kind of did collaborations, but I didn't think about like why I was doing those. I thought, oh, it might be good. Like it got us both views. But in the beginning, when we first started doing it, it wasn't like we were always talking specifically about these news cycling topics. But it seemed more and more as time went by. I guess that was the intention, was to always talk to whoever's news cycling, and I don't want to. Like a lot of people want to do that. I just want to use praying hands and put oil in my hair and focus on hair growth. So ultimately, at the end of the day, this channel is just about my long hair journey, and I share long hair care and tips. And I feel like it's it's kind of anti-news cycling because everybody wants the new trendy haircut and the new trendy style, but I'm not into that. I'm not into what's trendy and what's hip. I'm more like focusing on my own life, laying in plate at this time of my life, because I just don't think what other people are doing is pertinent to me. Like I just want to talk about on here like why growing long hair is fun and how you can do it, and yeah, in a very me kind of way, in a very sustainable kind of way. I don't really do a side part just because I like where my hair naturally parts, which is in the middle. And because I have parted my hair so often in the middle, I'll tell you this. I did a side part, which they're very pretty, but I did one a couple of years ago and it like literally hurt my head just because my hair is so used to parting this way. So I'm all about just what's doing very intuitive with my hair, and I realized that my roots don't really like being side parted. Occasionally I will do a part down the back to do double braids, but I haven't done that lately. I've just lately been braiding my hair like this. But I'll tell you this. Okay, so I guess I've just been coming to terms with like a very heated fallout that I had on YouTube, and I realized like the more I think about it, I never should have been the recipient of a video like that. And it put me in a really vulnerable place because what was I going to do? Was I going to call out the person who made the very untruthful, very mean-spirited video about me on their own platform? There was no point, because this person was like, everything they do is perfect. Everything they say was the best. If you tried to talk to them about like, yeah, you crossed the line, you did something wrong. No, they did nothing wrong in their mind. But I realized you can't. And then I realized this just went back to we never were eye to eye. We had 100% different like ideas, and I never should have been doing collaborations with that person like ever from day one. And I don't know why I was so many years in doing it. Well, actually I did struggle. Like I had a lot of doubts. Like a couple of years before that, I had put a pause on doing videos with them just because things kept coming up, and they wanted to play it back to, ooh, I had all these demands, and I was like, no, it was just like they were such a micromanager. And that's fine, but you don't get to do that with people that you're doing this for fun with. I'm not your employee. You don't get to micromanage me. And even if you are, like only a bad manager micromanages people. But I realize this person just believes in their greatness more than they believe in other human beings. They don't really care what other human beings think and feel unless they think this person is great. But they were trying to like put me down, like do a put down committee with me for years and years and years. And I just got to the point, I don't have to be part of their put down committee. I don't really care what this person thinks is great, because it was all part of the rage bait news cycle. And by having freed myself of that, I realized it was the best thing ever. And this person's still doing the same thing that they did like back in 2008 that was so cringe. They just go and share links to whatever they write or make. And they think this is the way to interact with people. And I'm like, have they not learned yet that like this time when they shared it, the person they shared it with didn't even notice, didn't even pay attention, doesn't even like it. But they're so into what they're producing and creating. But anyway, point being, some people will talk to anybody to get a view. They will cover any topic to get a view. But their views are kind of like that, okay? They are into, well, they mask what they're doing there, but they're a provocateur, but they're kind of like the mass provocateur. But then the provocateurs don't even get it, that they're not that good at it. If you have to be a provocateur, you're not really that good at the topic you're trying to cover. Because I hate to say it, at the end of the day, there's just people that with ease, they're going to cover that topic. I don't know, like ballerina farm and narcissism, which by the way, their content's not for me. But they cover that topic with ease because they're young, they're beautiful, and they're Model S. Nobody cares about somebody that's 30 plus talking up a storm about like having lots of kids. Nobody's going to care about that. They just aren't. Unless like you're really over the top beautiful and like photogenic, they just don't care. That's the irony of this. So being like what you call a star on YouTube to me is just not realistic. But I guess I've just been having like this catharsis of getting rid of this feeling of the people that felt like they had to be stars on YouTube at all costs. And they never just realized you could be on YouTube and you could create content that resonates with people and builds people up, but that wasn't their brand of content. And when you're doing a long-standing collaboration with somebody who doesn't really want to build somebody up, but wants to interview other people because they somehow believe that through symbiosis this promotes their own agenda, which isn't all that likable and nobody would actually like it all, because nobody ever looked into like what their real agenda was. And I kind of had a clue about what it was, and honestly deep down I never liked it. It wasn't likable. It was basically an agenda that, well, I'm sure Elon Musky people love it, but you know, I'm over this. I'm over the news cycling, because right now that's what's being promoted. Like these people are having their day and they're like, oh, we hate like the left, now we want the right to like be the hegemons. Like they were saying that the left was controlling the conversation, but now you have some people on the right doing the same thing. Hypocrisy? No, they don't see it. They don't see that, right? They just think, oh wow, we're online, look at us. So I think a lot of what we see on YouTube, like some of it's masked and it has political connotations. And some of it's not masked and it's pretty out in the open about what it is. It's just, here I am with a shiny coat. I'm a rage baiter. And that's fine. But, you know, considering I'm not a fan of this current administration or just the brash world of news cycling, this is the last I have to say about it. It's the very last I have to say about it, because some people are very content with who they are and they think everything they do is so wonderful. They think everything they do. And then I realized something about this. Those people, they didn't like anybody unless this person was a parrot of everything they had to say. Like you could have tried to have been this person's friend for years and years and years, but the minute like you just stopped doing a collaboration with them and you didn't even say anything negative about them, okay? You just happen to have an opinion about a news event that was different than theirs. And then they decided to make a rage baity, which didn't even get views, hate piece on you, but say it wasn't really about you, and then they were very hateful to you without an apology. That's everything you need to know about this person. It's rage baiter extraordinaire. This person told a lie, a very big lie about me, and you don't get to be a liar. I'm a truth seeker. I believe in God. And God sees and knows what your lie was. And if you want to lie and you want to be cruel like that, you don't get to do it. You don't get to do it to me. And usually I don't call people out like this, but I do when I keep seeing that you're like trying to like insidiously promote what you're doing. But you know what? That's fine. Your whole hate, rage baity piece on people that don't agree with you. That's why you don't have friends. You didn't want friends anyway. You don't like people. Like, this was my whole... You want people to follow you. You want people to listen to you. But you don't really like people because unless they're doing the exact thing that you want, or unless they're getting you the big result that you want, then they're not useful to you. And that's why I say don't do collaborations, especially with people that do the rage bait cycles. Like, if they're really into talking about a current event and saying that this current event makes the world better, I would be very hesitant about having an association with somebody like that. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I think there's a lot of unhealthy topics being promoted right now, and I just want to promote healthy, happy topics like cleaning your house, doing laundry, hair topics, art. These are all healthier things than what the news cycle is talking about. Because I'm telling you, Elon Musk is not going to clean my house. He's not going to make my house payment. If Elon Musk is not going to show up at my door right now and dust my shelves, I don't really care. Like, he's doing some horrible things that I don't agree with, but I just don't think it's to my benefit to give him that much attention, because he just doesn't... These people have no bearing in our lives. And even when I did a collaboration, I realized that person wasn't a hardcore friend like that, because they weren't the kind of person that would drop everything to come to my door, to like go have coffee with me. It wasn't that kind of friendship. And that's what I want on YouTube. Like, I am an introvert, but I want to talk about communion with like-minded souls, people that build each other up all the way every day, that don't see that as a weakness, that see that as a superpower, you know? And it's not necessarily that it's a liberal versus conservative thing. It's about not being brash. And some of them mask the brash very, very subtly. They're very subtle in masking their brash, but it's still there. It's still there. And yeah. Don't ever do collaborations with people who don't value you to the bring point and back. And collaborations in general aren't really that great anyway. That's all I have to say. So, I know that I'm not a big YouTuber, but if you've ever seen a YouTube video that I've done with a YouTuber in the past, and I don't do it with them anymore, there are big reasons that I don't. They never will give me an apology for something really bad that they did. Like, I had stopped doing videos with them because of my schedule, but then they made it a personal, like, attack. So, but then again, I thought at the end of the day, the reason that I couldn't was because I had scheduling things in my life that they would never get. I'm done thinking about it. But I'm just like, wow. It's been quite a ride, this whole YouTube thing. People thinking that they're superstars. People thinking that everything they do is perfection. People thinking that they can just act like you never did anything for them and that you didn't have, like, good feelings towards them. But they completely eroded any good feelings that you had towards them when they were willing to just be unfair and be unkind and be cruel and to tell a lie. The biggest lie on the planet. I also call people collateral damage, but you know, it's neither here nor there. These thoughts are not good for hair growth. Like, I've had to get my collaboration era out of my mind for years, a year and a half to be exact. But sometimes I see it. I see this person there, like, they go to other people's channels and they're still trying to promote what they're doing. And they have blinders on. They think, they believe in their heart that what they're doing is perfect. Oh, perfect. But not really. Like, you have some really big blind spots that you don't see, but you don't want to see them because you believe it's perfect. Perfection, right? But that's what you're going to get. You're going to get news cycling. And I don't even think this person is a pick-me, but I've noticed that they decided to promote an interview with some pick-me's of the news cycle. And I'm like, what is going on here? There are some people that are true stars, but at the end of the day, this is why we need to be away from the news cycle. Because the news cycle is just not good for us, you know? It really is not. It doesn't even care about us. Like, the news cycle is made to keep people in a divide and conquer mode. It's made to, like, okay, so if something seems really rage baity, there's a reason for that, because they don't want you to live your best life. So next time you encounter something that seems super ragey, question why you're seeing it, and question why somebody's doing it, and question why they need to interact with people that way. Like, because if somebody is a true winner in life, they don't need the news cycle and they don't need to rage bait. They're just doing their own thing in a very wonderful way, and they don't promote these bad topics. They don't promote eugenics. They don't think democracy is a bad thing. Like, anybody that says, like, that is kind of being, like, coy about saying, oh, like, eugenics is kind of good. No, eugenics has a very bad history that led to, you know, the Holocaust. No, eugenics is not good. No. A lot of people in 1920s were sterilized. Like, okay, there were people, like, there's a story about a German couple that I remember reading, okay? They were deaf. They couldn't hear. But then they met each other and they saw children playing in the park and they wanted to have their own little family. And this woman was sterilized in Nazi Germany, okay? She was sterilized because the government deemed her and her offspring as, like, being inferior, and they didn't think that she should have children. So she was sterilized against her will. There is a really bad history behind eugenics. You can't make this stuff up. So anybody who's saying that there's, like, oh, like, the eugenics is not bad and there's something good about it, no, it's creepy crawly stuff. But it's funny because the other people that are just promoting having kids, they're not into eugenics. Like, that's a real extreme take, and that's a really rage bait take too, by the way. Like, anybody that would kind of be like, yeah, I think that's a great thing. Really? No. It's not a great thing. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm gonna get down to at the end of the day. This is why people find it so problematic when any pick-me gets up on social media and says, oh, eugenics is great, and we don't use it in the way people used to use it. We just use it to get a better genetic code for our potential child. I'm like, you're still promoting something that has a really dark, bad history behind it. Like, that, it's not, I don't know. But what do I know? Like, these people love to rage bait. They might not even do those things. Like, this is what I believe. There have always been rage baiters on the internet, okay? You know who one of the big rage baiters was Durian Ryder, and he was in the vegan food movement. And I saw through his rage baiting, like, 15 years ago, and I think people really believed he was doing all the things he did. Like, he was saying how he ate 40 bananas a day. I never believed that he ate 40 bananas a day, but then all his followers were, like, trying to, like, copy his lifestyle, and, like, oh, getting a tummy ache from... I don't think he ate all that, okay? I think he was rage baiter extraordinaire, and then he was pouring sugar in his smoothie. Come on, friends. And then, I guess he kind of does it still. Like, I've seen what he does on his channel. He had his heyday during the vegan, like, when veganism was really, really getting promoted on YouTube, and it's kind of not as promoted as it used to be. I would say his heyday was probably 2010 to 2015, and after that, well, veganism was still going, but I would say, like, the raw fruitarian one was kind of declining, and then he was kind of promoting eating some cooked food. after that, but he would still talk about eating the 40 bananas and pouring sugar in his smoothie. And I'm like, come on, friends. Nobody was really doing that. And I believe that in the beginning. I believe that he was a rage baiter extraordinaire, and he would say all these things. And he sometimes too, on his channel, like he does these real like kind of rage baiting topics, or he's kind of cringe where he had a girlfriend that was his own age and they broke up because yeah, he's weird, and I don't know, he cheated on her or something like that. But then now he's for years been dating women, and several different women. They're like 20 years younger than him. And I don't really even care deeply, but I looked at his channel again recently, and he was with one woman for a long period of time, and now it seems like there's this newer woman that's kind of beginning to pop up more on his videos, and I'm thinking, did this other lady leave him? And then he had this one girlfriend that was his age, and he did certain things with her, and he kind of tried to make them into like copycats of what she did, and it just was weird, because like the way he was promoting his channel was, oh, there's a skinny girl in a bikini, and I'm eating 40 bananas, or I'm pouring sugar in my smoothie, and it's just like, it's out there, like it's usually visuals and like rage, and people still talk to him about him to this day. But there's lots of like regular vegan people, like happy healthy vegan, like they don't do that. Like they are in their 50s and they're very healthy, and they just eat a normal plant-based lifestyle. And I think they were raw vegan for a while, but they stopped doing that because they just realized it's kind of unsustainable. And they still get good views, and they have like, I don't know, 150,000. And then there's unnatural vegan. There's a lot of vegan people on YouTube. They don't have like 1 million followers, but they get a good amount of views, and they're not like rage baiting every day. But this durian writer guy, that was his only one claim to fame, was, oh, he was a rage baiter, and he had to talk about the new cycling topic. And I always felt like, okay, he likes bikes, and he does do videos about bikes, but there's a reason that's not his exclusive content, because he knows that even if he's not as popular as he once was, he picks a topic that's trending, that's kind of ragey. And I think that's the same with like anybody that's talking about the eugenics topic, or the like have as many kids as you can topic. Like really they're not, because I know people that have had like 8 or 9 children, like just because reasons. Everybody did that in the past, and you can put a eugenics spin on it and say, oh, well, only archetypal people should have that amount of kids. But they haven't even had that many kids. Like what, they've had a few, and they keep saying, oh, we're having so many children, but like there's people that are younger than them, that are more attractive than them, that actually have bigger business connections. Like I'm thinking ballerina farm, I don't know, bigger, and they don't even have to be like, pick me, look at me. Like this whole news cycle thing, it's kind of silly, right? It's like, it's people, they have to do these really over the topsy thing for you to notice them. And unless they're doing the super over the topsy thing, people don't notice them. People like if ballerina farm was just like, I don't know, doing ballet and making a pie, would people care as much? But no, she had to kind of do a video where she was like, oh, I wanted to go on a trip to Greece, but my husband got me an egg apron. I think that was rage bait too, okay? Because this lady, I'm sure if she really wanted to, she'd go on a trip to Greece. I can hands down tell you right now, if she wanted to go on a trip to Greece right now, she'd do it, okay? And then there was like some other thing where she said her husband put all her ballerina costumes in the barn, and they can't be in the house. Oh, come on. They're called ballerina farm and barn house. You guys. And like some people were like, oh my God, she's trapped in her marriage and not really happy. She wanted you to think that for maybe half a second, because you'd be like, oh my gosh, I need to rescue her. And oh, I'm engaging with her content. And every time somebody rages you like that, you have to ask, like, what's their intention? Like, why are they doing that? Why are they saying the things that they're saying? Like, even the ones that are, like, more popular. Maybe sometimes at the end of the day, people really do believe the things that they're saying, but I don't know. This is why just being a little hobbyist YouTuber, it's just not popular like that. Because a hobbyist YouTuber, we just talk about daily life in a real way. But you know what? I'm back on my other channels to talking about being a pedestrian in Southern California, sharing laundry, like cleaning, doing art when I can. And is that ever going to be superstar stuff? No, it's not. But I just do what I do for my audience. I don't aspire to be everybody's audience. If I don't have 5,000 people following me, I'll be fine. Like, I'm not going to be sad about it. But, you know, it's not the Valerina Farm vibe. It's not the Nora Smith vibe. So at the end of the day, I don't need to be a superstar to be happy in my own right. And what is the point of being a superstar? What is the point of these large number of views? To make more money? Like, what are people doing with that? What is their end goal? I don't know. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. And you have a great day. And thanks for watching. Bye.